All right, everybody, welcome to another week of Want Anything from the Shop. We're here to talk some TV and movie news and stuff. My name is Raymond, and joining me as always is Mandy Sham.
Hey, welcome. We'd have a wonderful jingle for you to listen to right now, but we don't have that produced yet. So for now, you just have to take this as our opening to the show.
Just imagine it in your heads. First news, The Incredibles 2. Now, Brad Bird has directed Ratatouille and Incredibles and Iron Giants, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, and the upcoming Tomorrowland. And The Incredibles has always been the Pixar film that people have always been pining for a sequel, and we're glad that's going to be announced, and he's doing that after Tomorrowland. What do you think?
No, I like Brad Bird. So,
Yeah, he's alright.
I don't really have much to say about it because I watched the first Incredibles so long ago. I think I'm going to have to rewatch it, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very action-packed. A little thin on story, but, it's Pixar. It's going to be amazing. Next news, we got some Paul Greengrass going to do a Jimi Hendrix biopic. Before this got some news coverage, there was also another biopic that wasn't authorized by the Hendrix estate, and the music was not Hendrix, which is really funny because it was kind of painful to watch. It's called All Is By My Side. This new Hendrix biopic is going to be authorized finally. What do you think?
I think I remember, like, the Jimi Hendrix biopic was familiar, but I guess that was the first one with the unauthorized music, which was really awkward.
With Andre 3000 from Outkast.
Yeah, is that still on Netflix right now?
I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on what region of Netflix you're talking about. I don't understand what I'm watching anymore.
I think it'll be fine. I mean, recently that other biopic came out about Kurt Cobain.
Last year. Oh, yeah.
So...
Wait, biopic or a documentary?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Montage of Heck?
Yeah, is that a documentary?
Yeah, it's a documentary. I'm actually planning to see this documentary by the end of the month, and it's going to be exciting. I heard some good news about it.
Really good things about it, yeah.
Yeah,
so that's going to be cool.
Are you familiar with Paul Greengrass?
No, I'm not.
He did the the Bourne trilogy with Jason Bourne and Matt Damon. He also recently directed Captain Phillips. He's known for the shaky cam style, and in my opinion, and many other people's opinion, he's the only director in the world who can do shaky cam correctly and well. So it's going to be interesting for him to do a biopic with shaky cam, unless he's not doing that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on who's cast as well.
Yeah, maybe they can cast Andre 3000 again, because he looks exactly like Jimmy.
Yeah, actually, there is speculation on that. If it were to ever happen, it would work really well. But usually, I don't really feel as though musician biopics turn out well.
Usually, hopefully this one is good.
Hopefully this one will be good, yeah.
Yep. Next news, we got some Star Wars news from Disney. Lupita Nyong'o's part is finally revealed in a concept art of an alien from another galaxy long time ago, far, far away, named Maz Kanata.
Well, it looks like an oil painting. I mean, like someone who wanted to draw an alien, but drew something that wasn't quite an alien. But it looks... I think it looks like her.
Really?
That's not really a compliment, considering the state of this photo. But I mean, I think she can pull off the prettier version of whatever this is supposed to be.
Sure, it looks kind of freaky with the giraffe neck and stuff. It's a bandana.
Is she going to have a long neck doing something weird?
I'm assuming so. Like, even though this is like early, I think this is like what they're going for, since they're going like in the middle of production right now.
Okay.
That's going to be interesting.
It's going to pull it off. Whatever it is. I think
she's a really good actor out of that one movie that I saw from her filmography.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Next news, we got David Litch and Chad Stahelski from John Wick. Yeah, excellent movie, John Wick. And Charlize Theron, who is now promoting her film Mad Max Fury Road around the world and at Cannes today, is going to star in the new spy thriller, Cold War thriller, The Coldest City, based off of a graphic novel by Anthony Johnston.
And so it's going to be an action-based film then?
I'm assuming so, because like these guys came from an action movie background with the Expendables movies. They didn't direct any of them, but they did all the stunts and coordination. Yeah, it looks interesting. And Charlize Theron, it's yet to be seen like how good her role in Mad Max is, but from what I'm hearing, she is an action star now, and that's gonna be fun.
The communism thing is, I mean, it's a pretty old story, but I liked Chad's stuff from John Wick, so I'm looking for something here too. And hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of echoes from The Americans from FX, where they basically deal with the same problems and probably not as much action to the degree of John Wick style, but it could be like a more actiony version of The Americans, which everyone should probably see since it's going crazy right now.
Yeah, no one has really been talking about The Americans, actually.
Yeah, it's criminally underrated.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's awesome. Recent Oscar winner Eddie Redmayne from Theory of Everything is in talks to star in the lead role of the Harry Potter spin-off movies, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Mm-hmm.
He's aimed to write the magic zoologist named Newt Scamander.
Oh, I haven't seen Theory of Everything, but I did see his Oscar acceptance, and he is exactly who you would expect Newt Scamander to be. Like, you look at his face, and you're like, oh yeah, he looks like a Newt. Like, no one would name their child Newt, but then if they ever did, like, they'd name it after Eddie Redmayne. I also saw him in Lemmy, so, yeah, I mean, yeah, I liked him in that movie.
I don't even remember him in that movie, actually.
He was a very minor role. He was the one of the brief love interests of one of the women. Yeah. Anyway, this seems interesting. I think he's actually really good for, first of all, the universe of Harry Potter and also the role.
He's currently, I think he wrapped production on a historical period piece where he plays a transgender pioneer. This guy's range is insane. He plays someone like Stephen Hawking. Transgender is gonna play like what I think is an old professor doctor type who just kind of walks around and learns about the Fantastic Beasts. And it's gonna be in New York apparently, which is which I don't think has ever been done in a Harry Potter movie before.
New York. So
yes.
Does that mean that Eddie Redmayne, is going to have to speak with the American accent, or is he from overseas still?
I'm pretty sure it's a British story, and then they just traveled to New York, right? And then Scamander, he's writing his textbook for the kids. You know, like what do you think about the premise so far for Fantastic Beasts? I mean, it's not exactly a book, it's a textbook.
No, I don't actually know too much about it, but I mean, I enjoyed Harry Potter personally. When I was young. So I think people are just going to eat this shit up.
I will eat this shit up. I'll gladly.
Yeah.
When this comes out and podcast episode week, we're going to probably talk about the Harry Potter movies, which means we're all going to watch all 8 of them.
No, just
I'm going to watch all 8 of them one day and tell you how awesome it is.
All 8 of them? Can you even do that in 24 hours?
You can do that.
Okay. But yeah, well, there are some that just should be forgotten, but I'm not going to name those specifically.
Great.
Why don't you just read all 8 books? Oh, wait, 7 books. Thanks a lot.
7 books.
2.
Yeah.
7 books within 24 hours.
No, I can't read, though. I don't read. You don't understand.
Oh, are you like Mayweather?
Great.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Crimson Peak trailer this week?
No, I haven't. But tell us about it.
From the Guillermo del Toro?
Oh, no.
The God did Pan's Labyrinth and Pacific Rim. He's known for his excellent art style from Hellboy and the Blade movies. And it's a horror movie. It's very similar to Pan's Labyrinth. It's a period gothic horror movie. Ghost Story, Haunted House, Haunted Mansion, starring Tom Hiddleston, Jessica Chastain somewhere. I think it's the most beautiful looking horror movie I've ever seen, judging from the trailer. But nothing much past that because I'm not getting a sense of what the story is about yet. I
I
know there's
mean,
like a haunted house and stuff.
is it prettier than The Shining?
It's set design wise, it's more intricate and more detailed and I guess prettier than The Shining. But cinematography is yet to be seen. But it does look like
Yeah.
very nice.
I could have sworn maybe at least probably 2 years ago there was an article about Crimson Peak, but I could have sworn that it was Benedict and not Tom Hiddleston who was cast in the role, or in talks to play the role at least.
Pretty sure that happened as well. And then being very humble and just saying no to his projects. He said no, and then like he was offered the role of Doctor Strange from Marvel, and then as humbly as he could, he said no, and now he's gonna be Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean, which is kind of, I lamented a little bit because Benedict is just the first person that comes into mind when you think about Doctor Strange, but I want someone who isn't so easy to pick.
I don't think it looks at all like Doctor Strange, like from what I've seen.
No, but like the way he acts is just great for the role. It's just,
Yeah,
I wish you didn't. You could have picked someone else, you know.
that's true. There's so many like smaller names to pick from. Why do you pick like someone so popular, right?
I guess they want the Benedict hype train to come on board.
Yeah, and plus they're making Doctor Strange change American into British now because Benedict is.
How convenient!
I know. Great.
I think he's like the most. He speaks with like such a posh accent. It's like 180 degrees. You can't turn back to revert or like even attempt to speak with an American accent when you're that British. I feel like
I've never heard him speak in any other accent.
Yeah, like because the guy from House does a pretty good American, but he's pretty British. But he's not as British as Benedict Cumberbatch. Like you need the name for.
So like from level of 1 to 10, 10 being the most British, Benedict is like a 12 for you probably.
Yeah.
And Hugh Laurie is probably like the 3.
He's pretty British, but he can do an American really well.
Yes,
I'm
very
impressed.
well.
So
yeah, every time he says ass, I'm like, that's so American. Good job, Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
Remember that movie we saw about those gorillas and monkeys? Well, they're not called monkeys, they're called apes.
They're called apes.
And it had the longest, lamest title ever, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And it's now rumored the new title for the third movie in the franchise is called War of the Planet of the Apes.
There's so many prepositions in this title.
Holy crap. Watpada.
All of the Chinese translators are pulling out their hair trying to translate this title.
You should like look up what Chinese translated Guardians of the Galaxy into. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw a related link. That anyway, for context, people, Marvel in China. No, that's wrong. The Chinese translators in China received the Avengers 2 to make subtitles for, but apparently some of them were translated wrong, and it puzzled viewers. But anyway, that's China for you, I guess.
That's China for you. Da 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 da.
I mean, I'm in Hong Kong presently, so I don't know. No one seemed to spot any weird things in the subtitles when we watched it about 3 weeks ago, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a China thing.
So what do you think of the super long ass title for Apes movies?
They're not so long that I start to roll my eyes, but I think what I'm more bothered with is the fact that it's just the word war of the Planet of the Apes. Like, wow, that's...
Very strange. Wasn't the Dawn about war? Were they warring against humans already? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, well, no, that was like the tension of the Planet of the Apes.
But they're shooting stuff. There are apes on horses shooting people. It was a war movie, okay? I don't understand this.
No, but like this is the first half was like them trying not to tip that balance. Like they're so close to it. So you have that dramatic tension. But now it's just a full-blown out war. So I didn't want, like, you know how Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was implying something, but it wasn't as straightforward? I thought they would do that with this one here, the third one, but it's just war.
I don't think there's any going back with like since Rise and Dawn.
Rise, dawn, the
It's
sunset of the
gonna go like
the
the
sunset of the
twilight of the
Planet of
dawn
the
of the Planet of
Apes.
the Apes.
Yeah, the
The
twilight of
before
the
and
dawn of
after
the Planet of
sunrise.
the Apes. Actually, that would make a really
Yeah.
good like satire, like the twilight of the dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, please, please.
Okay,
Moving on to some Marvel news finally of the week. We
James
got,
McAvoy finally gets to shave his head for realsies instead of last
and
time where he shaved his head because he was so excited and it turned out that he didn't need to because he had a wig anyway.
he's so funny. He's like, oh, he's so dedicated. It's too bad.
Yeah, but
Too bad.
now he can go bald.
He is going bald. He's
And I
bald
think
already.
he's like 38 now.
Yeah.
So even if there is male pattern baldness going on with him, you won't be able to know in this movie.
Yeah, I think he's made enough bald jokes in First Class for us to like just, be okay with him going bald. He prepped us enough for the baldness that is Professor Xavier.
Yep, so that's exciting. And speaking of X-Men, there's a X-Men spinoff called The New Mutants by Josh Boone, who directed The Fault in Our Stars.
Yay, cancer.
Yay. Bald head and Josh Boone.
I get it. You're very clever. You're very clever.
No, I don't like The Fault in Our Stars. I mean, actually, yes, I thought it was better than I thought that a atypical preteen romance movie would be like.
Sure.
The proper term is the adaptation of an young adult novel. But I've never been a big fan of young adult novels to begin with.
So you hate
So maybe
John Green, right?
I think he's okay for like that his demographic. Like he's perfect for that demographic. It's just some of those lines are so like there's just one line in Looking for Alaska where I believe the line was the future is a kind of nostalgia. Like just think
No, it's
just
not.
think of
It's
about how
not.
stupid that is. Yeah. Like what? And then you have all these like young adults trying to find meaning in that.
Okay.
Like they're like,
Like,
oh
I
yeah, that line is so deep. So yeah, I love John
Wow.
Green.
Yay. He does seem like a really nice guy and all, but I don't understand what you're writing about, man. What
It's
kind of
kinda weird.
teenager talks like all Shakespeare and stuff, like in Fault in the Stars? That's so weird.
Yeah, and he tries to be like quirky with his characters, and there's something not right here because, I mean, there is nothing wrong with a middle-aged man writing young adult fiction, but how can he do it so like with such precision? Like not in the sense of depicting young adults properly, but by knowing exactly what real young adults love to read and like would eat the shit out of.
You have a lot of stuff with eating shit today.
Yeah, it tends to find its way there, unfortunately, if I had a choice.
That's gross.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, Black Panther.
Yeah.
It was let's talk about two news at once, two news stories.
Sure.
Marvel was circling around someone to helm Black Panther and possibly Captain Marvel, which is with Ava DuVernay, who directed Selma last year, which got snubbed at the Oscars, and everyone went crazy. It's a good movie. It's about Martin Luther King and that march. And also, they're circling around Rick Famuyiwa, who did The Wood, Talk to Me, Brown Sugar, Dope. I've never seen any of these movies, but he's all about like civil rights and stuff. Yeah, and it looks like Rick is gonna be in talks more so to do Black Panther, and Ava is gonna be probably doing Captain Marvel, which we're all assuming at this point.
I don't really have much to say here, as I'm not really well acquainted with either of these. But Black Panther is actually pretty exciting.
Black Panther is a badass.
Yeah, and I like that they're playing the whole. Oh, you know what would stir the most controversy if they had a white person play Black Panther?
But the good thing that they're, at the same time, they're kind of saying, like, because it's a movie about a black superhero, we're going to have black directors direct a black superhero movie. But,
but
in reality, they should just pick the person for a job.
That's true. People, I mean, it's such a sensitive topic to, like the whole idea of representation in movies.
Yeah,
Either
and
way,
the
it's
like
for controversy.
yeah, in like the Wonder Woman movie that's coming out, DC specifically went out to find a director, a female director, to direct the movie, specifically because the director is female, not because they're great directors. But granted, they picked like the director for some Breaking Bad and Walking Dead episodes, who later quit the job, and they went out to find another female director. But it's kind of a problem if you're just finding someone to do a job because they're a woman or like because they're black in this case.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, it could come off as insincere. I think if you're trying to show that you are trying to, I mean, you support better representation in the media market, but you're doing that in a very contrived way. But I appreciate the gesture to some extent. Like I think it's good that they're actively doing this now. It's not necessarily best in terms of the actual content itself.
A lot of there mostly is just male directors, white male directors out there, and yeah, we need more female directors regardless of whatever they're taking on. Yeah, next news, we got our new Spider-Man for our cinematic universe, Asa Butterfield, who you might know from the movie Wolfman, which no one watched and is terrible. He played the younger version of the Wolfman. And Hugo, which he played Hugo, and Ender's Game, which he played Ender.
Oh, whoa, wait. So he was the protagonist in Hugo, and then he was the protagonist in Ender's Game?
Yeah.
But wasn't he so much older in Ender's Game? Even though I haven't seen it, I'm assuming.
No.
Oh, but in Hugo, he was like 12.
Oh, you think that?
Yeah, in Hugo, he was tiny.
He's actually taller than Andrew Garfield, actually. He just has like a long neck to make him appear.
No, it's so weird. This is so weird. I'm looking up pictures of him from Hugo now because from that time, I just remember him being this little boy.
Oh, so adorable and nostalgia.
Yeah, he looks 12 in Hugo. And now let me look up Asa Butterfield in Ender's Game. And
he looks adorable. Come on.
Yeah, he does still look young. He's got a really big baby face.
Yeah,
but I can't believe that he's taller than Andrew Garfield.
How old is
That's
Andrew?
Not funny.
He's like 30 or something?
I think
right
he's
now?
in his late 20s.
Great,
Andrew Garfield.
So Marvel was looking for someone to do a teenage high school freshman kind of coming-of-age story for Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And they finally picked Asa Butterfield because he looks really young and high school, and he's 18. So
that's why you brought up Andrew Garfield. Instead of Andrew Garfield, who spent the latter years of his 20s doing the Amazing Spider-Man franchise and wasting the rest of the prime of his life to do those movies, we have Asa Butterfield, who's still in his prime and might actually do this well.
But at the same time,
he needs
to go to school, though. Like, I don't know how young actors work in the franchise movie like this. Like, the only thing I can think of is Harry Potter.
Well, none of them really go to school. There's for Degrassi, I mean, those actors don't go to school. They get home taught or they get taught at the facilities. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
If you don't like school, just get into acting, I guess.
Yeah. It's so stable. Asa Butterfield is also going to be starring in the lead role for the upcoming Tim Burton movie, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And the Spider-Man movie is going to be at around 2017 on July 28th. And he's going to make his debut on Captain America Civil War. Look out for that, people. TV news. We got a lot of stuff about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, which both got renewed. I'm kind of shocked that Agent Carter got renewed because it wasn't that good.
It's weird. There's so much polarizing views on Agent Carter, and some people think it's really good. Or much better than S.H.I.E.L.D. But other people, like you, disagree.
I disagree strong-heartedly. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. it just had its season finale a few days ago. It was amazing. It blew me away. I was on the edge of my seat kind of blowing away. Trust me, it's awesome. Okay.
But Agent Carter, I don't know. From my understanding, it's just the Peggy, right?
Yep.
Like they do it for the whole badass female thing, but I think you can get that equally as much in Agents of Shield.
Yeah. Agents of Shield is like Peggy times 10 or something. More interesting characters to worry about. Lots more drama, more action. Even though Carter has like a bigger budget, but it doesn't do much with its budget.
Okay, but I never liked Phil Coulson, so I'm just gonna put that out there.
It's okay. He's cool. You know what's cool, Mandy?
What?
The Muppets returning to TV, ABC, Tuesday nights this fall. Did you see the trailer?
No, I did not, and the Muppets have always scared me, so I don't really care.
What? But
Yeah, they're like those blank, unmoving, stoic eyes that they stare back at you with.
okay, you should
It's
watch
so
this trailer.
scary.
You should watch this trailer. It's basically single cam situation comedy, no laugh track. It's like
Okay.
Office. It kind of pokes fun of like the way they did The Office and how it cuts to like a one-on-one interview and then back to a mockumentary. And then like at one point it's like that's such a cliche thing to do. What a terrible device to use to make a TV show. And then it does that literally right after, and then it's like cuts back. It's like, yeah, that's a great idea. It's so funny. It's gonna be so good. The movies are just okay, but like this one, it's kind of like behind the scenes mockumentary of the Muppets rather than like an actual Muppet story. You know?
Okay.
Yep. All right. Moving back to TV, we got some news about X-Files. It's coming back sooner than you think. On Sunday, January 24th at 10 to 11 p.m. And then the day after on Monday at 8 to 9 p.m. on Fox.
Are there still people who watch X-Files?
I'm trying to watch
Honest
it.
question, because I thought, didn't that one person leave a couple seasons ago?
Who's that one person?
I can't tell you.
Great.
I don't watch the X-Files, but
X-Files is freaky, man.
apparently, I mean, I know that the first couple seasons are great.
No?
Or at least, if not the couple seasons, then the pilot was really good.
No?
No.
Okay, like I'm at season 1 right now, and everyone keeps telling me, okay, it's season 1 kind of sucks. Just go, like, watch as fast as you can, and then stick around for the rest of the seasons.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of those.
I heard the pilot was like one of the best pilots of TV.
Really? There's like almost no character development on that pilot.
Along with Heroes.
Heroes pilot was pretty good.
Well, usually the shows that have good pilots are the ones that deteriorate over time. It's a curse.
And it's a gift. You know what?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the Spider-Man references. Okay, while I was watching Mad Men last week, there was a trailer of a new show from AMC and Channel 4 called Humans. It's basically like families from Sweden or America.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combined effort to make the show, and it reminds me a lot of Ex Machina and like artificial intelligence and robots and stuff, and it looks amazing. It seems like something up your alley, and I think check it out if you have the time.
Yeah, that sounds decently interesting.
To
at least look up. Next, Hannibal season 3 promos with spoilers, apparently.
Great, yes, but like really short. There's this trailer of Hannibal. He's just on a motorcycle, and then you see blood everywhere on the freeway. That's as non-spoilery as I can take this, because you haven't seen season 2, and like the promo stuff kind of ruined what we expect from season 3.
Yeah, don't you hate it when trailers do that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time that trailers have ever done that, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised actually.
So, moral of the story: just don't watch trailers.
Don't watch trailers. I don't know why you're listening to the show.
Let us do the sinful watching of trailers so we can pass on the information to you.
Yep. Speaking of trailers, Supergirl trailer just got released. Mm-hmm. It's 6 minutes long, and it's basically the entire pilot summed up in 6 minutes. Like, what's the point of watching it anymore?
Wait, so the trailer itself is 6 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, that's unconventional.
And did you watch the Black Widow's SNL short about the Avengers?
No.
Okay, basically it sets up like the parody of like what if Black Widow was the strong female character in her own solo movie, and basically she's like, I'm in a rom com, I need to find love in the city, and there's like this like a sassy music playing, kind of making it into a chick flick. She falls in love with Ultron, and there are like relationship problems. This is basically what's happening with Supergirl. Like, sure, there's like action and stuff, but at the same time, it's focusing more like, look at me, I'm so quirky and stuff. Yay! Awkward, cutesy
Yeah,
TV.
I did actually hear some people talking about it, and it's supposed to be similar to The Flash.
It's by the same team who did Arrow and The Flash, and strangely enough, it's not in the same universe because CBS and CW, even though they're owned by the same company, and David S. Goyer is writing Supergirl, who wrote Man of Steel and is writing Dawn of Justice, and also wrote Batman Begins, which is also a separate universe. Like, I don't understand why TV isn't connected with all these different franchises.
Yeah, I guess TV has that range. I mean, reign, not range.
Rain, the show Rain, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little tired of every time they have this female heroine who's supposed to be an advocate of like the whole feminist movement in TV. They always have to be the manic pixie or the dork or the quirky one.
She's as manic pixie as you can get. Like, it hurts to just watch it.
I mean, like, just going along the trend of Kimmy Schmidt. And not that I have anything against these things individually. I just feel like you're incapable of expressing how this is like a female-friendly TV series or film if the female character is not quirky. But it's good for the demographic, you know. I mean, if the TV series itself is good, then I don't think I have any complaints. Yeah.
I want to love this show so much, but I just can't see me loving the show right now based off of what I've seen in that long-ass trailer. Moving on to DC's Legends of Tomorrow, which is actually surrounding the continuity of Arrow and The Flash based off of the characters established on those two shows. It just received a poster of all the characters in this new B team, C team, I guess, and a new trailer. The guy in the middle you see here, who looks like he's Ant-Man, he is basically Ant-Man in the show, but he can shrink down to an atomic level. There's like the Heat Wave and Captain Cold. They're kind of interchangeable. There's a Black Canary who died earlier in Arrow, spoiler alert. She comes back through the Lazarus Pit from Ra's al Ghul, and she's now going to be called White Canary. The old guy beside her is the guy who is on fire. He's part fire. He hates his powers. The woman beside them is Hawkgirl, and then the guy on the far left is kind of like the Doctor from Doctor Who, but sexier. He travels through time, and he's a genius, and he knows martial arts from different eras and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Martial arts always makes people cooler. Yeah, I mean, sure, whatever. It's DC. I don't really care. Huh.
You don't really care. Yo, the Flash is so good. So good. I haven't kept up with it, but
I see those trailers of the Flash or like Arrow or like the showdown that the two of them have. In whichever the TV series that happens. And like and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like trailers of that on TV, and I just I don't know why I can't get into that. Maybe it's because the commercials are done so poorly. It's just so very cheesy.
It is very cheesy, but like, you know, it's for wider audiences, you know? And it's done that way in order for everyone to kind of want to watch it based off of how fast the pacing is and how easy to understand and digestible the story is, you know?
Mm.
Yep.
I probably have no problems just watching it if it happened to be on, but I'd never watched it of my own volition because there's so much more better stuff to watch. Like
True Detective, who just had a trailer debut a few hours ago. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's the one lesson you learn while watching our podcast. Don't watch trailers.
Yeah.
But this one was especially really good because it doesn't even show anything or give anything away. It's just showing off its pretty cinematography, the acting and stuff. Oh my god, it looks so good. I'm drooling over how pretty the show is looking.
I'm excited too.
I'm
Um,
excited. Like you know,
what?
in season one, there's this. Okay, I shouldn't say because you haven't watched season one, but like there's this one part which kind of happens without like just suddenly, and you weren't prepared for it, and it just happens, and you realize that this is actually a great show, and it's gonna be one of the greats once it completes its run. Yeah, I'm really excited for you to watch season one at least, but like you don't have to watch season one in order to enjoy season two because it's anthology. Lots of stuff
Yeah,
in
I can
anthology.
just go right to True Detective. Although, having said, they'll probably reference the first one somehow, and those references will be lost on me. So it's best to watch the first one first.
Yeah, maybe like, oh, by the way, this happened on the other side of town. And then it's like, oh, I remember that. And Mandy does not, so too bad. Haha. That's kind of sad, but you know what's kind of even sadder?
What?
The Simpsons. Harry Shearer, who voices Ned Flanders, Mr. Burns, Smithers, Seymour Skinner, Dr. Hibbert, Lenny, Leonard, Otto, the bus driver, Reverend Lovejoy, is leaving The Simpsons. He's done with the series, and those characters aren't going to get killed off. And basically, The Simpsons is hiring new voice talent that sounds similar to those characters in order to not confuse people as to why, as to like cover up that he left.
That's so sad. Mr. Burns and Ned Flanders? Oh, man.
He makes up like
But,
quarter of The Simpsons.
and The Simpsons is, I mean, it's not necessarily in its prime right now,
No.
but people still watch it because it's like lasagna, right?
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
lasagna.
Lasagna is something that you have to eat, but you don't want
You
to
have to, if you eat it, then you cultivate a dependency on it, and even when it's not that good, or you know it's not good for you, you gotta still keep eating it.
I think you secretly love lasagna then, because I hate it.
So it's just a term that I attribute to anything that's like, I mean, it should be bad, but you just keep watching it.
All right, Garfield. What did you watch this week?
This week, I actually don't think I watched anything new. I mean, there are a couple of movies that I started and never got to finish. What I did start was, although I've seen it before, I watched Jackie Brown again, and I haven't finished it yet. But it is definitely one of the more underrated Tarantino movies, and I think he personally thinks that it's his best one, or the one that at least defines himself. Yeah, I think so. I think he said somewhere on record that I'm not sure if he said it was his best work, but it was definitely his most not his most personal.
I'm pretty sure he said that when it
He
came
said
out.
something about Jackie Brown.
I remember
Maybe.
recently he said that there was an interesting idea to adapt a novel with Jackie Brown, but he would never do it again. And I was just assuming that he didn't really like it.
I think if you look closely at all of Tarantino's films, the one that characterizes the most originality, ironically, was the adaptation one.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Knowing that Tarantino, I mean, originality with Tarantino isn't really the same originality that we talk about in terms of other directors, since he's always drawing from different references and like all the B movies that he's seen in the past. I think Jackie Brown was the adaptation which characterizes his style as his director the most. It's very subtle, but you can see it the most in Jackie Brown.
I remember like the beginning for like the sequence when Jackie is walking onto like her job in the airport, and like the song is going, and then it's just like this one shot which they reference later in Mad Men, and then it's just so iconic from now on. It's just like I don't really like that movie, but that one sequence alone is like fun enough for me to stick through. You have anything else you want to recommend?
In terms of recommendations, sure. Like, I mean, I already wrote the review on Wild Tales, but I guess I'm gonna have to recommend that again.
Did you just publish it?
No, I haven't published it, but it's still in process of reviewing.
You gotta link that on.
Yeah, we'll link it. But yeah, go watch it because it's a pretty cool anthology film, operating on violence and revenge. And I think it takes a lot of cues from Tarantino and the Coen brothers, especially.
I think like going into that movie, I didn't know what to expect, and it just kind of impressed me too.
I agree because I also didn't go into it expecting much. But like the cinematography is really good. The
Yeah,
cinematography and it sort of I wasn't expecting that level of mastery of the dramatic tension in that movie, but it is definitely up there with Coen Brothers to do it very well.
yeah. Funny enough, like my friend and I who watched it in the theater were the only two people in that theater laughing, and the other people are just watching, like thinking it's drama. Just sat there like, oh, this is kind of on the
Yeah,
edge.
that's actually really funny because it's like you're being made a I mean, you're in that theater audience watching a movie about these people who are doing petty revenge or being pathetic human beings. And then meanwhile, in the audience, you have these people not laughing and taking it completely seriously. Like they
Yeah, and
don't
it
see a problem with it.
sucks. I know what's wrong with you.
Like
Oh
that
my
is the
god.
ultimate irony, which is perfect.
Speaking of black comedies, it's the new show by M. Night Shyamalan just got released
Oh
today
no,
on
he's
Fox
moving on to
called
TV now, terrorizing the
Wayward.
television industry.
Yeah, it's called Wayward Pines, and it's not supposed to be funny, but it should just avoid Wayward Pines altogether and stick to other shows such as Arrow, The Flash from DC, Mad Men, which is having its final run this week on Sunday, and then Agents of Shield just had its season finale, which blew everyone's expectations of how great the show is.
Mm-hmm.
And also Maggie, a film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I have a review up on my blog for anyone who's interested in reading. I wouldn't say rush out to go see Maggie, but it's pretty neat if you're willing to stick around with a zombie movie that's not about horror, but more about drama and stuff. All right, so with the Avengers being out for a long time now,
That sort of sets the tone for the rest of the summer movies coming out this
lots
summer.
of
Mad
and
Max Fury Road with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron.
that looks great. I'm gonna see that this week, and I'm gonna have a review up for that as well. I'm very excited for that movie.
Yeah, so
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch
Uh,
Perfect 2. I mean, the first one was good in terms of my expectations for it, but I don't think it was anything that I would want to see again, which is kind of what I'm assuming this one
what were you
does.
even expecting going into?
My expectations for Pitch Perfect. Well, I was assuming it would be another a cappella musical type thing with a bunch of ditzy characters who were diverse,
Great.
coincidentally, of course. And then one of them goes through like this whole love interest deal, which happened, of
So was
course.
the first one? Would you say it's aka fun? Eh?
Yes,
Eh?
I did enjoy it. I don't think it had any merits as a movie I'd want to watch again, but it was enjoyable.
I hear that from everyone, but like it looks so stupid. I
It
don't
could
understand
be.
it.
I don't know. It's definitely better than your low expectations of that, but
Mm.
it's not as good as anyone seems to say that it is, at least to me. And anyway, enough about Pitch Perfect 2. Tomorrowland, which is
Tomorrow.
actually really exciting.
I just watched a bunch of trailers today, even though I didn't want to know anything about the movie going in, and now I know a bit too much about the movie, and I'm afraid that like I have so much, I'm expecting so much about this movie right now, and you know Brad Bird, he's a great director. He hasn't done anything bad so far,
Yeah.
but you know expectations are high.
Well, visually it looks stunning.
Yes, the moment like she touches the pin, and then like the environment changes into something completely different. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. It looks like the perfect primer for the summer movies this year,
Primer.
which is actually followed right after by Jurassic World. Very exciting.
No, I'm not excited for
No,
Jurassic World at all.
you're not?
No.
I know it's going to be bad, but I'm still going to watch it. Like, okay, you know what's disappointing? I don't know if you have seen the trailer. I mean, I'm sure you have, actually.
Yes, I have.
I think that's a mistake because they did reveal some of the most hyped up parts of this movie. But it is, what's his face?
Chris Pratt?
Oh no, Chris Pratt. Yeah. I think he's going to do a good job. I don't know if it's going to be very intellectually stimulating at all, but come on, what are you going to expect?
You want dinosaurs, and that's what you're gonna get, I guess. But like,
Yes.
it's more CG now, and I don't care about CG dinosaurs. I'm sorry. As how beautiful as they look, there's no way that it could look as terrifying as Jurassic
As
Park One.
oh, it's not going to be terrifying.
Yeah, and Jurassic World just got a PG-13 movie. I mean, rating, and it's not gonna be as terrifying as like Jurassic Park. I actually like Jurassic Park 3, and I thought that movie was actually terrifying, even though people
Mm-hmm.
hate that movie so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, like the
Anyway,
original Jurassics were, yeah, we were young, we were pretty young back then. So, I mean, watching it back then was horrific.
oh yeah,
But
sure.
watching this now, it's like, oh yeah, I'd want to go to this park. Like this theme park looks pretty exciting. Oh, bad stuff's gonna happen, but it's Chris Pratt, and he's gotta survive so that he can do the Guardians of the Galaxy sequels. So he's not gonna die.
Oh sure, it's all connected into a Marvel's universe, of
Unlike
course. Of
the
course.
unlike the continuity between TV and movies, there is no such thing here. Actors connect the continuities.
Yeah. Are you excited for Inside Out? It's a Pixar movie directed by Pete Docter. It's going to be screening at Cannes in a few days,
Hmm.
and it takes place all inside of people's brain. And there's like a character for anger, disgust, envy, sadness, and stuff. And it looks amazing. I'm hearing a lot of great stuff about this,
Yeah.
and people say like after they watch it, there wasn't a dry eye in the theater, and that's amazing because Pete Docter did Monsters Inc. and Up, and did the
Hmm.
stories for Toy Story trilogy and Wall-E, and he's great. He's amazing, and I'm really excited for this movie.
Yeah, actually, I think I remember seeing the trailer a while
Yeah,
back.
the trailers don't look that good though, but from what
No.
I'm hearing, so good.
Okay. I also think that Pixar should go in the direction of shorts. Yeah. I mean, if you there's a book that the president of Pixar wrote about how they kind of use shorts to really get to experiment as opposed to what they do with the big feature films. And I like the shorts that they've done so far.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Like the shorts are very beautiful.
And they're little like extra treats to the movie that you're watching, and I think they set the tone as well
Yeah,
for
they
the kind
do.
of Pixar experience that you're gonna get from the film. But yeah, shorts actually I think they're going to be interesting if they ever take that direction.
All right. What do you think about? Okay, let's skip Ted 2 and Magic Mike because I don't think anyone cares about
Who
this.
cares? Yeah,
Terminator Genesis. What do you think
I
of the
I
Terminator?
can't say because I've seen the first one only.
Oh,
Second, yeah, but
oh.
I will definitely have. I guess I'll have watched Terminator 2 by July 1st when it comes out.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah. But don't ever watch the trailers for the new Terminator because it just entire movie, all the twists are just put out there for you. It's stupid. Minions.
Minions. No, I don't care about the Minions.
All
I do want
right.
to talk about it because I mean, like, it got so much hype after Despicable Me 2 and 1, but I mean, they're just like, it's a movie for kids, and I'm sure kids will enjoy that humor. And I think I'll enjoy it to an extent. That humor is very adorable, but I don't care enough to see an entire movie just on those minions. And I think part of the humor that made them so funny in Despicable Me as side characters who were always unexpectedly funny because you're expecting them to be very background characters, right? Now that
Mhm.
they're in the foreground all the time, it's not going to be as funny.
I don't know. When I expected the minions in the Despicable Me's to be very funny, they just weren't funny. So I had like opposite expectations from everyone else.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not excited for this movie at all. I'm sorry.
Mm. Right. Okay, next. Ant-Man.
It's directed by Edgar Wright, right?
In
Right.
an
Yeah.
alternate universe, which isn't that
Great.
hard considering continuities.
Oh no.
Um, Ant-Man. I don't like Paul Rudd to begin with.
Great.
And now that Edgar Wright's gone, I feel like any potential that Paul Rudd had as Ant-Man has now been demolished by not having Edgar Wright bring it out of him.
Okay, as much as
So,
I want to defend Paul Rudd in front of you, I have to respectively and grudgingly agree with you. It's such a shame to lose Edgar Wright. And besides like the train scene in the latest trailer, nothing is really funny in this movie or works in a comedic way or dramatic way. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but but like it's a Marvel movie and it looks pretty at least. Yeah, I don't know what else it has going for it.
Maybe some crude humor.
Maybe
there was some in the trailer. I mean,
Trainwreck with Judd Apatow and Amy Schumer.
We'll talk about it when the time comes.
Okay, it's getting a lot of very positive reviews so far, so I guess I'll watch it.
Okay, what's Pixels about?
Pixels is based off of this YouTube video a few years ago where Nintendo characters in the games, like the polygon versions from the 80s, comes to life in the real world and wreaks havoc on the city. So this is like high budget. There's Adam Sandler, there's Tyrion Lannister, and the creator of Pac-Man. Yeah, Tyrion Lannister. It looks okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks okay. Mission Impossible?
Actually, I've never followed Mission Impossible.
Me neither.
That's crazy.
But apparently it's huge.
Crazy. Okay, whatever. We'll talk about it.
Right. Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four. I think we talked about this last week. About how they're supposed to be the dad characters, the parent characters of the Marvel Universe. Sure. I mean, I don't have too big my expectations aren't high, but I'll watch it for the visuals and for Miles Teller.
Not even for Freddy? I'll watch it for Freddy.
No, I'll watch it for Freddy too.
Yeah, I'll watch it for the
almost forgot, but now I remembered.
Yeah.
Never forgot.
Yeah, we'll watch it when the time comes. And Regression, which no one's going to know about, apparently. It has Ethan Hawke and Emma Watson, and it's directed by the guy who did The Others, which I think is one of the scariest horror films ever, without being overly terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But, hopefully people go watch that. I sense that's going to be a real good movie.
Yeah, that's it for this week. No reviews yet. We'll talk about Mad Max next week.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about the trilogy real quickly next week, and then a full-on review and analysis. Yep. Thank you all for tuning in, and my name is Raymond.
My name is Mandy.
Bye. 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 Bye.